Welcome to another episode of the Prep Coach podcast. MG, I'm going to start with you. There's a lot of people that were impressed with your MC work on the weekend, and also DJ Normy. A lot of people were impressed with the DJ on the weekend. So,
I mean, I was impressed with the DJ on the weekend.
Do you want to go straight into this question that was asked?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you could. As a Queensland athlete, the show was out of this world. Question for MG: does he pre-plan questions to get people crying, or is it just on the spot? Other Fed MCs don't quite have it based on how I've seen their shows run. Also, the DJ was really good and the vibe was perfect. Thank you all. Bikini. I was in the bikini category. So,
yeah, awesome.
Do you pre-plan your questions and what you say to make people cry?
Never. I think, like with my personality, if I pre-planned, it just wouldn't end up the way that it does. It's just one of those things like based on feel most of the time. And like starting with the bikini show is kind of a good place because that's Friday night, which credit to you because I had Friday night doubts.
Mm-hmm.
It was it's never been done before. It's like, are people going to want to come in on a Friday if they're working or their family and friends? That was fucking heaving, man.
I don't know if anyone saw the story on NBA. Again, there's a lot of stories. I think we got shared in it as well. But someone grabbed my phone and went down the line.
It was out the door in the car park, yeah.
It was out through the venue, out the door, down the car park, and then down the driveway, nearly down the street. And that was at 4:30. So anyone that thinks that no one's going to come to a show because during working hours, you got the wrong idea because that was crazy.
Maybe you can put this up on the screen if it's possible, but like, just
I've got it on. Yeah, and also there was a lot of shots of inside.
Basically, what this is
it was packed. It was a packed house.
There's 19 competitors on stage, and there is not a seat in the house.
There's not. It was that Friday was a vibe.
Oh,
it was an absolute vibe.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, first of its kind, which is why I wanted to point it out at the start because I think it's here to stay for a very, very long time, and I'd be surprised if others didn't follow suit.
Well, the thing is,
I spoke to the venue this morning, and it is absolutely is.
We have to we can't fit that many. The show was 1:30.
So it was 1:37, and I think 64 of the competitors were on the Friday night.
Okay, so
you did two categories equated to 64 competitors, which is almost 50% of the whole show in 5 hours.
But not just that, the door alone. So we went through some of the numbers. So over the weekend, we had just under 900 people through.
Wow. That's a lot. I didn't realize you had them.
Yeah, I was like, we didn't quite get 1,000.
Well, you said last potty you're like 800 to 1,000.
Yeah.
So you were right.
So I was in the middle. Yeah. So to have 900 come through, but I'm not surprised because of Friday night, and we didn't realize because MT and I had to lay the stage, and so we'd been inside, and there's just like 15 maximum people. But there was a crowd that was brewing outside. So I can't remember who it was. Someone's like, just come out here. And I'm like, fuck, we've got 45 minutes. We need to get moving. And then I walked out and I was like, Jesus, the whole area was just, it was like an expo. You had the subs boys there, Altered Nutrition, Jamie and Trig, they were there. And they were heaving. There were athletes everywhere. And there was the line. And then they're like, the line's out the door. I was like, okay. And then I looked and I'm like, no, the line was literally out the door and around to the
When someone said it to me, I thought they meant the entry to the auditorium, which is like would be 7 people. And I was like,
no, there was well over 100 people in the line waiting to get in. And then once the show had started, we had a moment where that big bikini division was on, and I was like, there's literally not one spare seat in the house, and there's 2 rows of people standing to watch. It's just full to the brim.
It was crazy. Yeah.
And for a show that, well, no one's ever run a Friday night, and it's like, oh, will it work, will it not? Man, they came out, they were there at 3:30 on the nose, ready to rock.
And we've kind of had that conversation because it started at 5:30, finished at 10:30. So we went for 5 hours, small little intermission to give everyone a bit of a break. But we had the conversation, we're like, this is only going to grow. We're going to have to start earlier because we're not going to fit it all in within one night.
Yeah.
Especially if it grows like that. So.
Yeah, I came around because you guys were at the back and I called the last bikini under 19, I think it was. Oh, under 25. Sorry, there were 19 competitors. That's why I said 19. And I was like, I just caught the 2 of you right at the back, just in the distance. I could tell it was you two. There was nowhere to sit, obviously. So I put the mic down, last competitor, over to the judges, boom, and I bolted around the back. You guys didn't see me because I came from behind. I think I just put my hand on your shoulder.
You did, yeah.
And I said something like, in my head, I was like, I remember why we got into this, just to make natural bodybuilding grand, right? As big as it can be. Yeah. And I remember I just put my hand over their shoulders. I was like, the sport is alive and well.
Yeah, definitely alive and well. Yeah, it was going back to your MC work. We sat back for a bit. I think like you nail your intro. I know your intro is not scripted, but you know the key points
For
you
sure.
want to say in your intro.
Yeah.
And your intro is epic to every single show. It's amazing.
Thanks.
But then listening to some of the speeches, we sit back at multiple shows, but even more so on the weekend, we're like, fuck, how fucking good is he? How good is MG? He's like, he's got to be one of the best in the industry
I appreciate it, man.
at MCing.
What about like there was one
Not,
where
not one of he, and this is why I said to you, you are a pioneer. You are, and like I said to you, there was a bodybuilding show, but I truly believe that they were lining up to see
you.
see greatness unfold.
You know what? One of the
Yeah.
things that Scotty said to me in that speech that he gave in Bali, which we'll replay that at Nationals. One of the things I do use all the time is like the wearing charisma like a plate of armor. So I'll actually like go somewhere side stage and pretend to put on this fake plate of armor, like as in I'll literally like pop this thing, and then
it's game time.
when it goes on, I even like drop the shoulders because it's so heavy, right? So I drop the shoulders, and that's why I have to lift up tall because the plate is so heavy, and then I'm just like.
I think what we need to do is, I know we're always crazy busy and rushing right towards the start of the show, but I need to come over, pretend to put it on you,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
And
Like
then-
you bend down, I put it on you,
No.
and then he gives you the talk.
I'll kneel.
And then I just put
Yeah.
put it up on
I gave you a little one on the Friday night.
You did. No, it was actually really,
Yeah,
really.
and
It wasn't
it
little.
was-
It was.
It was decent. Yeah.
It was like a pre-prep phase. It was aggressive, and it was short. And it was getting it out. That's what it was. Or
it was a bit
The
of
funny is when I deliver it to him, he actually is a
We'll
little
start
bit.
moving. We'll start
Yeah,
moving.
he's moving around, and everyone was sort of watching him as if like he's ready to just run out onto the field, as if like I'm ready to
I
could
get
just
this-
run through
I get
anyone.
that twitch in my upper
The-
lip,
the-
and that's
yeah,
when I
yeah.
know
the,
the man. The
the
man
smell's
is ready.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but some of the moments are just like there'd be no way to plan for it. For example, the amazing the figure winner Tamara Hutley,
Mhm.
amazing physique. She won the overall. Her son had been in a big accident. Was in ICU, and she mentioned that in the speech. So you saw me. As bad as my knees are, I was worried. I just jumped off stage. She was in the front row. I ran over to him with the mic. I was like, "What do you want to say to your mum?"
Yeah.
Like that, you never know who's
You
going
can't
to
play
win, and
that. Can't plan that.
you just have to. I want to hear what he's got to say because I know that, I was touched when she said it. So I was like, if I want to hear it, surely there's others who do. It's always nice to look at the crowd. And do you remember when Jeff won the bodybuilding overall? So Jeff,
Yeah, Jeff. Yep.
what an incredible
Yeah,
physique,
yeah.
by the way.
That was a bit of a battle too between those two.
That was a
boys.
great battle. And it started with high emotion because I was just talking about, the journey to get to the stage and how many people help you to get there. It's not just you. And that brought the emotion on. And
Yeah.
And then I turned around and it's like the first 5 rows that even people he competed against, their family were like so into somebody else winning because they could just feel what it meant to them.
Mhm.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
he was very emotional.
and that's kind of like what I'm trying to do is just bring everybody together, whether it's somebody or someone you don't know. I just want you to feel that athlete's joy in that moment.
Yeah.
And also not to forget that there's also a live stream. So I'm trying to make it interactive for those that are listening through a screen and those that are in the venue too.
Yeah. I think there was that one comment when the wellness winner and her dad came on stage and he's like a big dude.
Yeah, he's a nice guy too.
Yeah. And you said to him, like, now I know where you
He
get it
said,
from.
it all starts to make sense now. Now I know where we get all the teaching from.
She was a great athlete as well. There was so many great
Yeah,
athletes.
Trinity, she was really good.
yeah. I was speaking to her parents after the show, and
Oh yeah.
just seeing her dad, he was just, and I was actually, Trinity and I had a moment when I was finalizing the pack up after the sports, and she was the only one in there, and I just saw her, and she just looked like she had this smile, like, oh my God, what have I just done?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you feel? Like, that's so incredible. She's like, I'm 19, I just thought, why not? And then my dad said to me, after the OCB, I think she'd done
She's
it.
OCB. Yeah.
She's like, because they'd sponsored her for that show to do that. And she said, I'm like, do you know what? I've heard everything about NBA. I'm just going to do it. And my dad was like, just do it.
Mm.
And I had a moment as a father. I'm like, that's so cool that he's
yeah.
just like, he sees something within her. She loves it. She enjoys it. Go for it. Like the world's your oyster.
Yeah.
And then to have that moment and then see her dad there afterwards and how proud they
Yeah,
both
yeah,
were.
Yeah, that was the interview because the dad said if you do well, you're going to nationals. It's not even a conversation.
Yeah, so I missed that interview, but she was telling me that backstage. But then I saw her dad in the foyer with the mum because I just said to him, "That's a decent haul," and he was just. He was
What
proud as
about the
punch,
bikini
man.
winner? Just in terms of like that show, First season, there were 36 competitors.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's bigger than some shows,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
that division, right?
Yep.
And, you know, you look at the quality of that lineup. Like, an overall to win. You walk away and you've just beaten 40 other
And I think
athletes.
that was a split decision, wasn't it?
3-2, yeah. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was,
So it was very competitive.
Yeah, the girl that placed second was
This
awesome.
was amazing as well. Yeah.
So,
And there was
crazy.
another one of those. I think it was in figure.
well, there was 10
There was a couple of splits.
competitors.
The purple bikini.
Yep.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I roughly do. Yeah.
There was
I
also a
remember
split
her.
decision in physique, Dennis and the
Oh,
other.
that's right. There was two. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it was,
Yeah.
But you know what I did like? I liked that the judging table made them battle. So they put everyone on the line and they made the top
The
two.
call out.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Like, how was I didn't even have to, fire the
No.
crowd up because they were so into it. And that's, like, we love seeing battles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
Actually,
it's always in good sportsmanship too. I like that.
there were some really good posing routines as well.
Yeah, there was.
There was 9 posing routines from the guys and then 2 from the females, but they were all really, really good.
And what about, this may have never have happened before, but a mother, a father, and a son all competing in the
Yes.
same show.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know the mother. I knew that I saw
she
the
was in
father and
figure.
son when they came off
Yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, no way.
See, but it's like I've known about Callie for a long time.
Yeah.
So how cool as
Yeah,
like,
that's
she's
awesome.
obviously been bodybuilding for a long time to
Yeah.
have your husband and your son compete, and then
Yeah.
and then this must be like bragging rights in the house forever. Is and Lee's a great man, but the 16-year-old sensation, as I called him, Jasper, beat his dad.
Yeah,
I
he beat his
saw.
So
dad.
that's cool. I mean, if I'm the dad, I'm walking out. I'd be like, you got me, but in my heart, I'd be like, so happy.
So happy,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would. I really
Mhm.
like. Imagine it was H, right?
Yeah, man.
Harvey,
Yeah.
he walks on stage. He's shredded. You're old now. He whips your ass.
Yeah.
You're a bit like little bugger, but then deep down, you're like, it's my H man.
Of course.
And he's posing more Dundee.
In his more dunnies.
Yeah.
There was a question of whether you lose your voice by the end of the shows. You've been pretty good. There's not
Yeah,
really...
I've been I was close. I reckon there was about an hour and a half left, and I was backstage with Timsy and Jordan. I was like, oh, it's starting to get close, but I've never lost it.
No.
We do make a point to make sure he's very well hydrated.
Looked after.
And lubricated.
Yeah, I am very well looked after. No, so far so good. Touch wood, Dad. I don't want to jinx it now. But...
And then there was a question up here, I believe. Yeah, thoughts on the federation landscape in natural bodybuilding. Have you guys officially moved to the top spot? And is this something that you care about? Talking about myself is, yeah, I don't really care where we kind of sit in the rankings of, and how do you rank it?
Yeah,
Like, do you rank it based on number of competitors? Do you base it rank on, like, is it based on the quality of the show and the
is it
production?
based on reputation?
Is it
Is
reputation?
it based on
the growth? Like, I obviously,
is it based on revenue? Like,
yeah, what's it really based on? For us, we just want to continue to get incredible feedback, people to have an amazing experience, and continue to obviously make changes, evolve, and not only evolve us, but also evolve the industry and evolve the sport, and make everyone else change as well for the betterment of the sport.
Yeah, for us, it's never ever been a pissing contest.
No.
And
Well, actually, we stopped taking piss.
literally.
but in the means of transparency, we don't ever speak about anyone else. We just look after what's within our own backyard, and have always had the philosophy that if you stay true to your values, you follow. We're very big with longitudinal planning in terms of the way that our outlook, in terms of how we do things. We've obviously made a lot of changes in the last 18 months as a federation, and always been of the view that if you just continue to persevere to offer a great experience, an athlete experience, it's never ever been about revenue or making money. We don't even discuss those things. It's about how much better can we make the production, the show, the experience. And I think shows like the weekend kind of speak volumes.
Yeah. I mean, we got into it because we wanted to try and improve the way, it's a sport that we all love. And I always say, people probably heard me talk about, I feel like that we're like the custodians of the sport. So it's our job to give back to it, because it's given me my career, my best friends, so many great people. It's given me so much. That's why I care about it so much. And that's maybe why I am able to get tears on stage, because I don't have to force it, because it's my baby, right?
Yeah.
So because we got into it under those circumstances, knowing the way that we conduct ourselves and what we're trying to achieve, if we just always go about it in that same manner, people will start to see that, oh, these guys are genuine. The vision is actually something worthy of following, and the rest will take care of itself. And if that makes us the biggest shows or the most in the crowd or the most revenue, or so be it. But that's never going to be the focus, because then you start to make bad decisions.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you try to go tit for tat,
For sure.
that's when you start making bad decisions.
And often, like, if somebody's doing that in any field, if you're just making great decisions and doing the right thing by whoever is part of that sport or club or league, often, you know, your competitors are either forced to come up to the same level, and if they don't, they often revert the other way, which is like, you know, to say stuff about you. So if that ever happens, that's another way you probably know that you're on the right track. So we will never go down that path, because who really cares about, you know?
Well, also too is another component is there's no ego for us guys. Like, we don't care if we get any praise at all, but also we're not doing anything based and driven by ego at all.
Like when I saw that somebody had written in about Normy, the DJ, I was so happy about that. That, like, when people send great feedback about Timsy, that melts my heart. Like, that's the shit that makes me happy. I don't care if there was nothing said about me or about, I'm sure you guys are the exact same, but when our people get praised,
it's awesome.
It makes us pretty happy.
Yeah. How good of a job did Timsy do? Obviously,
phenomenal.
2 big days, a lot of big lineups. Timsy,
do you want to tell that email? Because that's, you know, that email that came through about that competitor that was backstage. That,
geez,
and I was standing right there, so I can vouch for this. But it was basically,
you were there, because I can bring the email up. But
one of our amazing female competitors about to walk on. Can't remember if it was for fitness. I think it was for fitness.
She was in fitness and sport.
Yeah, and she was just so nervous, like to the point of shaking hands. And Timsy literally just grabbed her hands, calmed her down, spoke to her, told her what she's about to walk out and do, and how amazing she looks, and how she's been practicing for this, and how he believes in her. And then she walked out, and she won it. She won that division.
She won, yeah. She looked amazing.
And then she came back, and, like, you could just see the relief. But then she took the time to email us.
She emailed us, yeah,
to say how important in that moment
it was.
It was, and that's just one example of having the right people in your crew, and how, you know, you talk about success leaving clues, and I say all the time that's relevant to your friendship circle too. So, you know, having that guy, and like Timsy's not 40 years old, like he's still in his early 30s.
Young man, yeah.
To have that level of maturity, calmness, like to be able to calm an adult who's about to walk out, it's you either got it or you don't, to be honest.
So Timsy is the person that directs everyone on stage, and he tells, you know, where to stand, where to go, those kind of things. So you would have seen him if you're watching the live stream. You were in Queensland, the guy in the black suit.
You would have seen the back of his head a lot.
His head a lot.
The lovely back of head.
Yeah. And obviously he's going to be there at the Vic show this weekend. So
yeah, he's a great young man.
Yes, he is.
Is there any standout athletes so far, a male and a female? Do you have any standouts so far?
Oh, I mean, Jeff was pretty special for the Queensland
bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, yeah.
Yeah, the live stream it wouldn't have even done him justice.
He was freaking. When I saw him, I was like,
I said to Joey, "Oh, man, you peaked him to perfection. He was full, he was crispy, but not just that. He's just he has so much humility. He's just a really good human being. He's a great dude. So, yeah, I hope there are a few other Jeffs out there that get to go to town.
Well, that'd be awesome.
But, oh yeah, that'd be so good.
Yeah, he's crazy. For me, he was by far the standout.
What about the men's physique guy in Queensland?
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, they were their structure was awesome. Like big chest. They really had probably one of the biggest, most dense backs we've seen for a little while in men's physique.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and isn't it great just to touch on fitness? How it's so easy now to really define the difference.
Men's fitness.
Yep, it truly does look like. For me, the aesthetic is amazing, and it just looks downsized, which it should be, but they're all conditioned. I love it.
I can't wait for you to come to China to see those athletes.
You were telling me
it's
about
happening.
it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're going to get blown away. So we've got this weekend, VIX. Then we have a weekend off. Then we have the Nationals in Sydney, 2-dayer.
No, we've got Perth.
Oh, sorry, Perth. Yeah, that's right. We've got this weekend, a weekend off, Perth. Then after Perth is Nationals, 2 days. Then we go to China
for a Tuesday
the
show.
following weekend for a Tuesday show.
And then
from there, we fly straight to Bali for the Athlete Village, and then the Bali show, then we're done. So that China experience, Scotty's going to go straight to Bali because he needs to be there before us. So it's going to be you, me, and Stewie going to China. You're going to love it. The competitors are epic. Absolutely
wait.
epic. Yeah. The men's physique, the bodybuilders, they're crazy.
I mean, if you look at the men's fitness lineup this weekend, there's definitely like a cultural push towards fitness.
Yeah.
Like you can see it's a lot of sort of like Sri Lankan, Indian, and like Asian competitors because the structure just suits
it.
Yeah.
Definitely does.
So yeah, it'll be good.
All right, you want to get into some other questions?
Absolutely.
So coming off the back of last week's potty, where we spoke a lot about peaking, someone asked, do you prefer a certain way of peaking clients? Front load, back load, depletion, etc. There's a certain way you like to do it? Like they're talking about the carb up process.
Yeah. If you have time, I think front loading is always more optimal so that you can deplete, replete, and then assess the look and then pull back the day before the show.
So front loading is carbing up earlier in
Yeah,
people?
so like for example, the show is on, let's say for example, my figure client Jan, who's on the Saturday. So today being Wednesday is her first day of pushing in more carbohydrate. She's had a 4-day depletion where we've pulled carbohydrate down so that we can maximize super compensation. And so today, off the top of my head, I can't remember what she's got.
Super compensation.
Yeah, so she'll have
Put on the t-shirt.
she'll have more carbohydrate. I don't know, say it's like 400 grams or 350, 400, whatever it is today. And then it's about another 50 to 75 more tomorrow.
Well, that's substantial.
Again, it is quite substantial. And then we will assess the look, assess feedback on how her sessions go. She sends through photos morning and after her training session. Then we'll assess on Friday, but also knowing that I need to pull back a little bit more on the day of and reduce food volume so she can allow all of that to clear out. She's also on at the end of a Saturday, so I know that I've kind of got 2 days to be able to just manage that. But
she's in figure?
Yeah, she's in figure.
So she'll be at the end of the first day.
Versus say someone like Nam who's doing fitness, he needs to make the weight cap. So he's someone who I will backload because
same as Luke,
he has to be under a certain weight.
And they'll be on early. They'll be 10:45.
Yeah, so you've got a 24-hour window, which can be tricky for a lot of people. But again, you need to know how you structure that. Be very particular with the carbohydrate sources, the amounts, using things like caffeine, creatine to help partition it, and then obviously land him on the day. But our goal is to, once he's weighed in, there's a protocol in place so that he can get in. He'll push in about 650 grams of carbs the day before. But I know that he can tolerate that, and then the morning of, he won't. He'll be up a little bit earlier just to be safe, so we can have a look at the physique. There's a really small meal that will go in, and then other than that, he won't eat anything for probably 4.5, 5 hours before he goes on until we start using some gels and pushing in some.
And you'll try to keep him as still as possible, basically.
Man, he'll just stay nice and warm, rugged up. He won't do anything. Everything's there.
So someone that's trying to make a weight cap and they have to try to achieve that weight cap because they're over, you won't carb load them until they've weighed in?
For sure.
Well, for him, we actually will, because my plan is I'm pulling him down about 1 kilo. He'll be just under 1 kilo where he needs to be to make the cap.
Okay, got ya.
So I'll actually probably have
you got some wiggle room.
Yeah, so, and that's also been intentional in terms of, there's things with that you can manipulate to move body weight around, slightly. Again, you can move 5% of body weight in a 24-hour period more if you know what you're doing, but we're not employing any of those things. He's sits just around where that cap is habitually, because if he wasn't and I was having to pull 4 kilos off, I could do that, but I wouldn't do that, because for me it's not really fair, because you're putting someone who shouldn't really be in that division, and we designed that cap so that you need to stay within that. So
as I said before, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Like it's anyone can watch now and easily be able to differentiate the two
between men's fitness and men's physique. Yeah,
for sure. So that is an approach that you can take. And so if you don't have a weight cap that you need to meet, but you could also have someone that you're perhaps chasing a little bit more conditioning. So one of my other classic guys, we're doing a 1-day carb up, because I want that he's just so close to being where I want him to be. And for me, knowing he's going to do more shows, I'm not, and he's got a decent amount of size, I'm not worried about digging him for one more day. And even if I fill him up at 85, 90%, again, he'll still follow I think he's actually pushing over 700 grams of carbohydrate, but I know he can tolerate it. And then again, we're pulling back because he's not on until later in the day in classic physique and men's physique. So there's no right or wrong way to do it, but I think if you wanted to be more conservative, front loading, it affords you the luxury that you can make changes if you need to, versus if you push too hard and you spill someone, it's a little bit trickier to correct that than if someone's
Especially if
flat,
they're on
you
early.
push in more.
Yeah, especially if they're on
The
early.
early part.
Yeah, exactly right.
My coach doesn't take fiber and electrolytes into consideration when it comes to peaking for a show or during peak week or on show day. Can you run me through the importance of both of those so I have an idea how to navigate it myself? So fiber and electrolytes.
Man, my electrolyte balance
peak-
being out literally triggers my heart condition, so it's
Yeah.
it's pretty fucking important.
Peak week and show day.
Yeah, so you don't, the day before a show, especially if you've been in a a carb up period, you need to still keep fiber in play, because if you don't, then the last thing that you want is to delay digestion and you get a delay in transit time, so food's sat in the large intestine and you distended, versus one of the things that I'm constantly probing on day one of my carb ups for my athletes and day two, how's digestion, how's it moving? And that's why most of the time athletes are eating the same 2, rarely 3 meals. The only meal that's probably a little bit different is their dinner meal, where I'll usually push in a decent amount of veg so that they're nice and full, and then they usually wake up and need a bowel movement almost instantly. So you need to keep those in there. But in terms of 24 hours out, we would usually opt for a lower residue diet. And this is actually something that you can do as a means of, if you were trying to manipulate some body weight too, following a lower residue diet. There's research that shows that following that can help to drop body weight down for multiple days. But you don't, provided you've had that bowel movement on a Friday, you don't want lots of veg. You're not trying to stay satiated. You're trying to keep the least amount of food in digestion as you can. And then you need to have a plan for how you induce peristalsis on game day.
Another
Coffee,
t-shirt, by the way.
prunes,
Peristalsis on the t-shirt.
Super compensation with peristalsis.
Peristalsis.
Oh, that's what
a splash of peristalsis.
Yes. You did say, I thought we officially last week changed bowel movement to the Pinchy, Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
Didn't we do that in the last episode?
Can you explain what peristalsis is so people know?
Peristalsis is
It's like me and your brother on the dance floor in Croatia happening in your belly.
the two are synonymous. You know?
Just don't get anything right. Like,
Forgive
imagine
my
me and Sal
incorrect
raving
that's
to
the way
zombie
it's-
nation in your intestine. That's literally
There's someone foot stomping
It's
inside.
like the sax players there with you, and you.
Yeah. So it's just, it's the process of the muscles within the intestine
contracting and
moving in like a wave-like manner to help move what's in there out of your body. Yeah.
Just look away.
Yeah.
Just look away.
You look like you're about to play the flute.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so what would you do to help with peristalsis on show day?
Well, firstly, hopefully again, it's not just fiber, it's fat, it's fiber, it's also fluid intake. You need to make sure you're mindful of that. But things like a high fiber space diet, too much sodium can delay gastric emptying as well, because fiber and sodium delay that. Not enough fluid to help move the food out, but also the right types of fiber, soluble and insoluble. You need to have that balance of some insoluble fiber to help get things moving. Things like incorporating some kiwi fruit early on in the day, and that's why I usually stick to a rule that I don't give my athletes more than 10 grams of fiber the day before, but those 10 grams are usually consumed in the first meal to 2 meals of the day, so they're nice and early, and it usually does lead to a bowel movement because the food that they've eaten the days prior is there and it's basically ready to move out. So they're things you want to be mindful of. And in terms of electrolyte balance, that's really important. If you are not paying attention to not just electrolyte balance but fluid balance, your athlete should wake up assessing the color of their urine, how much fluid they've had. If an athlete is habitually consuming 4 liters of fluid and you're mindful of managing how much fluid they have, if they're on at midday, you still, by that stage, they would have normally had around 1.5 liters to 2 liters of fluid. So if that's the case, then you need to make sure that you are getting some of that fluid in early and then pulling back at the right time, but also using sodium as a means to, increase blood pressure, blood volume, and obviously if they're peaked properly and they're in really good condition, that acute bolus of sodium, when you put it into play, it's like watching a physique come to life. The great Matty Hatton, he'll be watching this and he'll love that. We had a pump up because obviously MG's athlete. MG was the maestro.
Can I just tell a story before it gets to that because it's relevant to this?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Matty's on next. Where is he? We can't find him.
Oh.
And then I get a photo. Scotty's got him pumping up outside in the sun in front of his Maserati because you know it's big. He's a car nut.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, there's gonna be some good photos of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Well,
outside.
the reason we were outside is because he was inside, and I'm cold, keep him warm, increase blood flow, and he's like, "Can I take this off?" I'm like, "No, leave it on until we go inside."
But Scotty, let me fucking take it off, man.
And then when we went inside and we properly pumped him up, I think there's a video of you and me, and I'm like, "Keep pushing," and he's looking like, "Fuck, I'm done." And I looked at him like, "Keep fucking going."
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about your brother. Hey, keep going, all right?
Yeah, that's the photo.
And then this,
Yeah, that's the photo of us, all of us
just
gathering.
like,
yeah,
just like strategy. But yeah, awesome. And he had a great experience through that pump up.
Yeah, but also you can see that physique come to life. And if anyone's around the Vix this weekend, there's 2 athletes that I'll actually there's probably 3 I'll give a shout out to. But if you're watching the men's fitness, the figure, and the classic and physique division, some of the athletes I have competing are they're very, very conditioned and are hyper responders to interventions like that. So you watch it in the flesh. It's
Maybe that's if anyone's wondering.
yeah, and the
Why
other
he's
thing that
got
I'm bringing out
socks.
for is keep your socks on to the
Keep your
last
socks on.
minute. So funny story. Wayne actually for his pro show, he was walking on.
And he still had his socks on.
Take your socks
Socks
off
off.
Because he woke up
And he's
10
like,
seconds before that. That's
Yeah.
Take your socks off, Wayne.
But if your feet are warm, the rest of your body will be
stays pretty warm. Still on fiber. My ability to handle fiber has gotten worse as I get leaner, and I'm about 4 weeks out. It's causing me some grief. What could cause that? As you get leaner,
Like, is that a down regulation response?
No, it could also, how much fiber are you having? The types of fiber are you consuming? Cruciferous type vegetables.
What if it was?
And a lot of
what
time-
if it had been consistent and it just progressed? Like nothing's changed, but it's
Without knowing this person, they probably are consuming more cauliflower, more broccoli,
yeah,
happens a lot.
and any kind of cruciferous type vegetables. Those oligosaccharides, they contain raffinose, and we don't have the enzymes required to break those down. So they basically just sit in the intestine and they tend to ferment.
yeah.
And there's so many athletes. That's why you hear people that have a cauliflower pizza. It's low carb,
No,
and they're fucked for like
no
4
good.
days.
No good.
No.
Yeah.
So I would look at the profile of the types of vegetables that you're having.
Yeah.
And also looking at the meals, because if you're on a low carb diet, there's not much. Like say you're on less than 100 grams of carbohydrate, there's a good chance that majority of your carbs are coming from plant matter, vegetable matter, and you're probably just eating the wrong type. So I would have a look at the types.
It's sometimes it might not be the fiber, it might be the type of food that you're having, the type of
for
veggies.
sure.
Like, and even simple things like eating spinach raw instead of cooked can fuck you up. So
100%.
there's some small things that, only since you've been in the trenches and you've learned a lot of things, is I'll look at an athlete's diet and they're like, I'm just having veg, like, I don't know what's going on. And you look at him like, okay, cool, you got cauliflower in there, you're having raw spinach, you're having too much avo, that's got some obviously natural sugar alcohols in it. You've got to be careful of this. You got
I've got a funny story. I
to be
remember
yeah.
when when I did my first comp, which you coached me for, and then after the show, like I was like, first time, but I wanted to get the reverse diet perfect. So remember I was getting like crazy into recipes and shit.
Yeah,
I was
you
like,
were, yeah.
voluminous food. And I got onto cauliflower oats,
Yes,
and I got onto cauliflower egg white pizza bases.
that's right.
And I was like, fuck, it's so much food. I'm sticking to my reverse diet. 3 or 4 days later, it caught up with me. I reckon I was going to the toilet 8 to 12 times a day. Yeah, seriously, man.
Harry Styles is
Seriously, like your brother moved in, man. Like it was fucking. And I was like, I didn't. It was a long time ago. I didn't quite have the understanding as I do now. I knew that it was related to that, but I didn't quite, understand the extent of why it was happening.
Mhm.
And I was just consuming like cauliflower rice, like with every meal that was, had protein, not protein powder. The cauliflower oats had protein powder. My chicken meals had cauliflower rice.
Yeah.
I made an egg white pizza base which had cauliflower.
You were also using xanthan gum in stuff as well.
'Cause I was
you were
making that ice cream
those,
stuff.
those big fluffy
That's like
things.
the worst.
The
thing
worst
you
shit,
have,
yeah,
because
the
that
worst
just goes like this inside your stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
Like that inside your stomach and then like that outside your stomach too, right? So sometimes you got to, like you said, you got to go through yourself.
Yeah,
like,
of course you do. Yeah.
So then from that point onwards, any one of my athletes was like, "Oh, what do you think is that?" I'm like, "Fucking do not fucking touch
Don't
it."
touch it.
Even though I was using it excessively, but it was like,
Even those those custards, those mousses that you get, they're like a protein powder, but they turn into a custard or they turn into
I was having that too.
They have xanthan gum in them. So you
And I
got
was that example.
yeah, and you,
And,
yeah,
and the sugar
alcohols. Yeah,
I reference all those things in my onboard emails to be
Yeah.
like, these are a list of the things that you
Don't.
you don't want to have and that you shouldn't be having, because and that's why a lot of I was young, I didn't know. Let's throw shade on like Macro Mike, but I remember on the retreat there was a girl came up to me and she's like, my guts are fucked, blah blah blah. You know, can you have a look? And I'm looking at her protein powder. I'm like, oh, there's like 12.5 grams of dietary fiber per serve, and you're having like 3 of these a day.
yeah.
Like, no wonder. A lot of times it's vegan based product because
It's hard to get the protein. Yeah.
So
Oh, that's a lot of fiber. Fucking hell.
yeah, man, that's a lot of fiber.
Oh, we're good for we're gonna wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Hey, can we just for the
Okay.
great Matty Hatton, can we give him one clap and sing? Like this hit the which
1, 2. You'd love that. All right,
Did we go through a few or not?
we got through a decent amount, but we've got
There's
to
a
wrap
few
it up.
there.
Okay, cool. This weekend, if anyone is around,
Yeah, if anyone wants to help,
if anyone wants to help,
message me directly, not
Yeah.
the NBA page, MG on Instagram directly. If you want to help with the show, send me a message.
awesome. We'd appreciate that.
And Timsy, we know you're helping. You don't need to. You're good.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Take care.